Hi, I'm here, your own personal fitness trainer. So I have with me today again a personal training book with more good information. Before we get started, I do want to say thank you so much to all my subscribers, because I can't forget you. Without you, my channel wouldn't be what it is. That's what motivates me, if I think I'm doing good. So thank you. And if you're new, you just click on that subscribe button right there, because it is free on YouTube, or like it, share it, comment. Okay, so on to the discussion. All right, so the first one I'm just touching on. And the first one is touching on rest between sets if your client, like when I'm training a client, and they only have 30 minutes. So for a 30-minute workout, to get the job done, you can have maybe a 30-second rest time. But they're even saying here that if you're going to have that, then I'm going to tell you exactly what it says here. It says if you want to finish your client's strength workout 30 minutes, you can minimize the rest downtime. And it says you can do it by changing from upper body to lower body, and then to ab in your back workout. And it says the order in which you do this is not critical as much as the point is simply switching from one body part to another unrelated part. So that's how you can do it, okay? And I just wanted to mention that here. Now, the other thing I'll say is, if a guy is, even when you're working out on your own or training, whatever, guys doing low reps, real heavy weight, then your rest time is way longer. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, depending on how heavy you're lifting. Why? Because you need to, or you won't be able to do it again. So obviously, they're not talking about that here, okay? Because you wouldn't be able to do that. So, let me go over here now. Okay, so now let me touch on this. I mentioned this, and then I'll get a little more in depth on something. So in the other video, I said about increasing your weight, and they have here, when your client can easily compete more than their assigned repetitions, it's time to up the weight. So we talked about you have to up the weight. Now, I was going to touch on this little graph here, over here again. I talked about it in one of the other videos. So, remember here, if, now this is again, not talking about, I told you before that when you're new starting out, brand new, never done it, this is going to keep falling out, never done it, that you have to start out the high reps. Or if you've been off for a period of time, let's say you had an injury. Training people can have injuries. Let's say I had an injury and I was off for a long time due to the injury and I couldn't work out. Then when I would start back, even though I've trained forever, for years, I would still need to start high reps and go work my way. Why? Because then I could have another injury. And then, but to the person that's been working out for years, muscle has memory, so it wouldn't take us long to get back to where we were. But we still would have to start with that high rep range and work our way down, just like a brand new person. That's how it works. Okay, if you're away from training for a long time, you just can't throw yourself into these hefty, hard workouts if you're off for a while. But again, it's a progression, okay? So now here we're talking about, remember, the higher reps though, 15 to 20. They even include here 12 to 15. I'd say 15 to 20 more is muscular endurance. That's what you get. I touched on it before. So now, right here, moderate Hypertrophy, that means, getting size. Hypertrophy, increase muscle size and strength. There, this one's strength, not endurance, is number of reps are 8 to 12 and 6 to 10. There you are, 8 to 12, 6 to 10. Okay, so again, back up in the higher rep for muscular endurance, 15 to 20, 15 to 20. Okay, and they have our 12 to 15. But here it's 8 to 12, 6 to 10. They're just giving you a range, okay? Then heavy for maximum strength and power is, guys want to do that, 1 to 6 reps. Okay. I never do 1 rep. Have I done 6 before? Maybe in the past, but not typically. My lower rep range for me would be 8. That's lower for me, 8 reps. That works great when I want to go heavier, okay? All right, so there, I wanted to touch on that again. Now, lifting technique, because boy, do I hammer that. When I have a training client, I hammer that. If you've ever noticed, I even do that in the videos. Why? Because it's really important. So here's what they say in the training. Just so you know, I'm not blowing smoke on that one. Okay? Okay. So first of all, they are telling you that when you have a new training client, and for anyone, you do want to focus on exercise technique, lifting technique. Why? Because it's very important. And so it says, and this is on to a new person or anybody, it doesn't matter. It says the emphasis is on good form, gives your client's muscles a chance to adapt progressively to the demands he's placing on them, and lets him learn how to perform, him or her, exercises correctly before he lifts heavier weights or she lifts heavier weights. All right, then let's go on here. The next category is lifting with control and full range of motion. I'm always about that. Here's what it says. With regard to lifting speed, never say fast. Instead, preach control. So, when I have my videos and I'm always say about pause at the bottom, or I'm telling you not to go like that, like you're lifting, slow and controlled. You stop at the bottom, just for the pause word. That's just the word I use. Pause. Pause. Now you go. Rather than, but if you're going like this, okay, that's what they're talking about. First of all, you won't get the same results doing it that way. You get some, but you won't get the same, and you can get an injury. So here's what they're saying here. That's what I learned. That's why I do it. Okay. So it says your client is, okay, they're saying a good guide is to spend 3 to 4 seconds lifting a weight in a steady, controlled motion, followed by 3 to 4 seconds lowering the weight with the same degree of smoothness. That's just giving you a guide, okay? All right, and something else falling out of the book. Okay, what else do we have here? Then it says at the bottom, right here, your client will get the best results with the least risk by controlling a weight slowly through the fullest range of motion he or she can attain with comfort. Controlled and full range of motion lifting will help your client avoid injuring their joints and muscles and maintain flexibility. So you see, there's several reasons: results, injury control, and from your joints and flexibility. So there's a reason behind it. Okay, now they have, and this is good. This is a good one. Science and the speed of movement. Okay, so it says, for the average person, gains in strength are best accompanied by moving the weight slowly. There we are again. And I like this. See the list here. And it says, slowly, okay, by moving the weight slowly, about 4 to 7 seconds per repetition through a full range of motion, and accomplishing fast twitch recruitment by using an appropriately intense overload. And then underneath here it is, following are 7 reasons to control your speed of movement. On a study they did. There's 7 reasons. Number 1, consistent application of force. Number 2, more muscle tension produced. Number 3, more total muscle force produced. 4, more muscle fiber activation, both slow twitch and fast twitch. Number 5, greater muscle power potential through high intensity force development using controlled speed of movement and appropriately intense overload. I know that's a mouthful. Number 6, less tissue trauma. 7, the last one, greater momentum, which increases injury potential and reduces training effect on target muscle groups. There you go. So I thought that was good. Now underneath here, they do have an exception. Let me read what the exception is. Exceptions to these items, or moving a load more quickly, may be appropriate in sports specific applications, and when your client understands the risks associated with that. Okay, so if you're training somebody for sports, then there'll be more quick movement training, but they have to know, as with sports like that, you're at higher risk of an injury. Okay, so it's the only exception there. All right, then, oh gosh, this one really is important, I'm telling you. And this is one of the hardest ones when I'm training a client. It's like, I'm like harp on them about it. Breathing correctly. So, I mean, what we're not going to focus on right now, because people have such a hard time with learning to breathe, period, that we're not going to go over whether you breathe in and out, whether you breathe out first or in first, because that's just like too much for any y'all to think about. Okay, you'll figure that out. Okay, that's not the most important by far. The most important is just breathing, period. I breathe all the time. So let me read it to you, tell you what they say. And so it says, first and foremost, your client should breathe regularly during strength training. Then down here, I'm jumping around here. Okay, it said, your client is not breathing when he feels or she feels the pressure behind his eyeballs start to build, and both of you start to wonder what moment they will explode from his head. And I have seen that before, I'll tell you in a moment. If in doubt, simply instruct your client to breathe, breathe, and breathe. Excuse me, but I have seen at the gym guys weightlifting. I mean, they're good, they're big, they're weightlifting. I have seen them lift heavy stuff and they're not freaking breathing. And their face is red beet, so red. beet red. You know why? Because when you don't breathe, you are raising your blood pressure. That's why your face is beet red. I don't say anything though, because I learned. Can't say anything. You know, I'd like to, I want to, but they don't like it, so I'm not saying anything, okay? You know, I mean, if they were open to it, but they don't like you telling them, so I don't. But when I'm training a client, that's my responsibility. I'm going to tell you to freaking breathe, okay? And I do, I harp on that. Why? Because it really is important, I'm telling you. Plus, it will help your workout. It's just not for that. It gives you more energy. So down here on the bottom, it says, right here, they have it in the book, if your client holds his breath during the entire lift, this can cause blood pressure to rise higher, that's what I just said, than it should be, and put increased stress on their heart and their vascular system. Breathing correctly can help your client avoid nausea, dizziness, and fainting. At a minimum, have your client remember to breathe regularly through each repetition, okay? So I know when I'm training people, I see they're not breathing, and I tell them. So here's all I do when I'm training. I just say breathe. I remind them all the time. I just say breathe. And sometimes I have to tell them continually, and I just do. I just say breathe. You know, I don't browbeat them. I don't yell at them. I don't scold them. I just say breathe. You have to breathe, you know. Why? Because I don't want them to get hurt. So it's just, if they're not breathing, I'm going to tell you. Okay? But obviously on the videos, I'm not with you personally to tell you that. But I am breathing. Okay, so anyway. Oh, I don't want this video to be too long. So, I might want to end it here. Let me look here. Okay. Alright, I'll do this one last thing because I had it, and then I'll tell you what the next video will be on and this subject. Okay, so here, just don't get confused by this one. So, they're not talking about when you're first starting out. Because you have to start out, remember we said high reps, really high, and you're working your way. Okay, to increase strength and intensity or load that your client's musculature is unaccustomed to must be presented regularly and progressively. Because you know, remember I said it's a progressive thing. Okay, then it goes here, and that means, it says that means 6 to 20 reps to muscular fatigue. And remember I told you that that's the rep range we work and we switch it up. Change it up, okay? Starting out, this is the high reps, working our way, but you're always changing it. Okay, so underneath here, they're telling people, not a new person, but just someone that's been working out for a good while, months and months, okay? And if all they're doing is just always high reps, like 20 reps, 20, 18 all the time, high reps, 15, 20, 18, 15 all the time, and they're not doing any of the other rep ranges, okay? Here's what they say. High repetition schemes are usually highly ineffective in promoting any kind of health and fitness gains. And remember, that's only if you're only doing those. They're not talking about changing it up. Again, like for instance, if I do 12 reps, I'm doing 12, doing 15. I don't do a lot of 20 reps. Once in a blue moon, okay? Just for change up. It's usually, for me, I'm usually working 10. I do 8 sometimes too. You don't always see that in the video, but I do that when I'm working out. 8, 10, 12, 15 is what I'm working, okay? And then sometimes 20, and that's okay to do that. They're just saying you just don't always want to do that once you're involved, in exercise with the strength training. Okay, so high repetitions, you heard what I just said about it, and it says they do not produce significant gains in muscular strength and endurance over an extended period of time and have little to no effect on cardiorespiratory conditioning, especially when small muscle masses are involved. And then it says under here, repetitions that are redundantly high are not harmless. There you go. It says they can lead to overuse injuries, not to mention lack of results, frustration, high exercise dropout rates. So again, the bottom line is changing up, and that's why when you're a fitness trainer, we're changing their reps all the time. That's how they get the results. So as the trainer here on the YouTube, I'm just sharing as much information as I can because I don't have you one-on-one like I'd like, and it's a group and I don't know where people are at with their exercise. So that's why I try to do a variety of things so it can apply to different people where you're at, okay? And so now I'll just tell you what we're doing on the next video on this kind with the personal training. Next is going to be changing intensity for strength gains. Yes! Okay, so just to get you going, what it'll be next when I'm back to the book, other than my other workouts. Alright? So anyway, this one was longer. So, until next time, we'll see ya. And ta-ta!